Okay, this is the Worx WG430 leaf mulcher. It is one of the better reviewed leaf mulchers on Amazon, and people really like it for leaves, but I am fine with my leaf mulching. I have another system for that. It works great. Don't need that. What I have is a giant pine needle problem. I want to use my pine needles as mulch in my containers, and I live here in North Carolina, and our pine needles are very, very long, like 7, 8, 9 inches long. People are like, oh, just use your pine needles as mulch as they are, but that won't work. I need smaller mulch, and I have an infinite amount if I can only find a way to shred pine needles. So I looked all over Amazon for different shredders that claim to work with pine needles, or people that say they work with pine needles. This was the cheapest option that had any even hope of working with pine needles. I am not completely optimistic about it, but we're going to give it a shot because this thing is a little over $100, and the next most cheap shredder that might shred pine needles is in the $400 or $500 range, and I don't want to spend that much money. So we are going to check this out and see how it works on shredding pine needles, because I know a lot of other people want to be able to shred pine needles and are looking for a cheap solution. So I'm going to give you some quality pine needle shredding content here. We're going to unbox this, then we're going to take it out back, and we're going to try and do some shredding. All right, well, that was easy enough. I can't say it inspired a lot of confidence. When you put the legs on, 2 of the 3 legs had small rubber stoppers protecting the ends that you had to remove, but not the 3rd. And the machining on the legs was really bad. I had to tap them in with a mallet, and they have the sort of pin locks on them, but they are not sized well, and it was kind of a mess. But whatever, it's $100. It is all set up. I'm not gonna put a bag on it for our tests. I'm gonna use a bin underneath. You can basically slide a bag into here, and you can put a bag underneath it. You can rest the thing on garbage cans of a certain size, which I cannot do because I use big square rolly recycling bin kind of garbage cans, so I'm going to be dumping. And you can use paper bags with that ring right there that it comes with, and you can get apparently some special bags if you want to pay for them. But I'm just going to use a bin today so we can see our outputs. I'm going to take this out in the back, and we're going to check it out. Okay, well, I didn't actually put it together right the first time. I didn't read the instructions. Machine part on the bottom with the label facing up makes sense. Clamp the funnel on, then put the cover on. See inside it's got, this is one of those wire, like sort of like weed eater cabling, wire, thread, rather than blades. So I don't know, we're gonna see. Plug it in here, and let's get to mulching. All right, well, you definitely want a bag. It's falling out the side here. This stuff needs to go in there. Ironically, this stuff is probably the most shredded. But all in all, these are back down. Let's get a little bit there. These are pretty good for mulching. I would feel comfortable using this for mulch. I was hoping for something a little finer, a little more fine, kind of like pellets almost. But this will work for a mulch, and it's free. Oh, hey, one more quick note. I've been picking this stuff up and throwing it in there, or throwing it back in here for a second shred, and it actually works really well. It gets a lot more fine. So what I'm thinking is I can get a trash can, 2 trash cans or bags, and shred once, and then double shred, and I will have the finest mulch for free from this vast sea of pine needles. Also, I should have worn gloves. Wear gloves when picking up pine needles off of the ground, and stay away from the moist stuff. I'm just picking up the top layer here. I got a little too low there, and it definitely noticed the moist stuff was a little bit harder. But yeah, this works. I'm gonna shred some more pine needles. Seems to be working pretty well. No complaints. Minor complaints, quibbles. But if you're looking for something to shred pine needles, to get a little bit finer, let's see, a little bit finer of a pine needle for mulch, and you're looking for something to do it affordably, I think this Worx WG430. I think it could do the job for you. All right, take care.